I have come across the most beautiful poem written by Portia Nelson. Please look it up to see the original version, but if you will, allow me, I'm going to give you and recite to you my own version of it. It's called There's a Hole in My Sidewalk. It goes like this. Chapter 1. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I didn't know that it was there, so I fell in. I feel a little ashamed and I'm thinking, how did this happen? But I'm hiding away because I don't want anybody to see me in this hole, so it takes me a while to get out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I knew that it was there, but I pretended not to see it. So I fell in. I can't believe that this has happened again. How is it possible that I can fall into the same hole twice? Somebody should have covered this hole. Somebody should have done what they were supposed to do. I'm quite angry and frustrated, but really I feel ashamed, deeply ashamed. I don't want anybody to know that a person such as myself had fallen into the same hole twice. So I hide away, taking a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I knew that it was there, but yet I fell in again. It's become a habit. How did this happen? But I know it's my fault. I know that I am to blame. So I get out real quickly. I know how to get out. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. This time, I walked around it. Chapter 5. I take another street. Hi there, I'm Dr. Catherine van Heerden, and I must tell you that I really love that writing because to me, it represents the truths of life. If you think about it, the different chapters of life, the different experiences that we have, and where are you at the moment, wherever you are working, your life, your relationships, the choices that you make. I'm pretty sure that every one of you can attest to having experienced the same kind of chapters that Portia Nelson had represented in her poem. The journey of not knowing, chapter 1, and then the journey of repeating what we call the same mistakes, and then the journey of understanding and accountability and insight, and then the journey of understanding how to prevent, and then the journey of exploration and experiencing new things and freedom, if you will. You can look it up, but I would like to maybe just pose to you and invite you into the possibility of asking the question, why do we go through these kinds of experiences? I think every single one of us sit from time to time and we have conversations with our friends, with our therapists, with counselors, with coaches, and we ask the question, why? Why does this happen to me? Why did I experience this? What's the whole reason for this pain? What's the reason for this journey? Why did I have to go through what I went through? And I can attest to it, and I'm sure that even if I sit down with you, you would ask questions like this. And sometimes we have the answers. Sometimes the answers are quite obvious. But you know what? Sometimes we just don't have the answers. And sometimes we shouldn't ask the question why. Sometimes we should just learn how to surrender and accept the truth of our realities and understand maybe the purpose is not to understand. Maybe the purpose is to breathe and to be and to accept that what we do not have any control over. I think that the reason for experiencing a variety of different things is really to help us and to aid us into the whole notion of how can I live an effective and a purposeful, of a powerful life. And I want to ask the question, why is it a good idea to be powerful wherever you are? You know, being powerful means that you have impact wherever you go. It means that you have clarity of mind. It means that you can process and evaluate whatever your experiences are. You can give it meaning the way that it serves you and your journey. It can also help you to teach and give you authority on the work that you do or in the world that you find yourself in. I'm pretty sure that all of us will agree that you will be opening up yourself for teachings from other people if you know that they've walked the journey and that they really have wisdom and insight in certain aspects of life. You need to ask the question, what takes your power away? What makes you less effective? What makes your relationships toxic? Where do you feel powerless in your own life? And why do you make the choices that you do? And I think there's value in sitting down and reflecting on those things and searching not just for the questions, but also for the answers. I'm here today to share with you some of my own reflections and what I believe are things that I try to do and live by that will help me to have a more powerful life, if you will. I'm going to share a couple of thoughts with you today, and I'd like for you to scribble them down and just think about them and see how they could add meaning and value to you in your life. I want to ask the question, what makes a person more powerful? If you were to think about those ingredients, I'm pretty sure that you would agree with a couple of those points that I want to add to you. The first one that I want to share with you is purposeful living. Purposeful living. You know, I have so many conversations with ladies, with people around the world, and they ask the question, what is my purpose? What is the purpose of being? What is the purpose of my existence? And I think it's a very, very valid question. But I have also discovered that a lot of people try to pursue or seek for the answer in their vocation, in their qualification, in their in what they do for a living, in the work that they have. You know, is my purpose a psychologist, or is my purpose a doctor or a teacher? Is my purpose a dancer or a magician? What is my purpose? And I want to pose to you that I don't believe that's really what our purpose is supposed to be. What if our purpose as humankind is actually the very same thing? What if your purpose and my purpose is exactly the same? So that we don't have to have this quest of trying to pursue and finding the answer of what your purpose is. What if it's actually a very simple thing? What if your purpose and my purpose is simply to serve humankind? What if that was what it was? To serve humankind. Just think about that. I have a certain vocation. I have certain gifts, certain talents, certain abilities, certain experiences, just like you do. I find to serve my world with the gifts that I have and the qualifications and the abilities that I have, just like you do. Ultimately, don't we serve the same purpose, and that is to add value to other people, to help, to be charitable, to teach, to educate, to uplift, to encourage, to inspire, and to just make a difference in other people's lives. Whether it is as a professional, as a friend, as a parent, as a teacher, as a neighbor. What if that was our purpose? Wouldn't that really serve a better understanding? Because you know what, if you have that understanding, then you can think about how you live your life, your personal life as well as your work life there where you are at. If you see it as service-oriented, and you don't have to have this quest around what is my purpose about, then it means that you can, for this very moment, look at the people around you and you can ask yourself the question, how effective am I at serving? With words, with kindness, with compliments, with gestures, with activities, and really just asking yourself, how am I adding value? Do you know that good relationships is about having the ability to manage a good exchange of value? And in that, if I have a service orientation, it would mean that I'm very aware of how I add value to other people's lives, and then also having the ability to receive their value. A lot of people have the notion of, you know, I just want to give and give and give, and they can't receive back. And a lot of people just want to take and take and take, and they don't know how to give. But I think a healthy relationship is where there's a very good balance and give and take. So if you set your mind on, I want to live a purposeful life, then the next step or the next thought, if I may suggest, could be, how am I serving my world, and am I maintaining a healthy relationship in this notion of giving and taking, serving and receiving? Because in that, there is a beautiful upward spiral taking place of more healthy relationships and healthier way of serving my purpose. So in the workplace where you are at, it's not just about you. It's not just about the work and the profits. It's also about how you conduct yourself, what you say, what you do, how you feel, what you think, what is the condition of your heart, what is the condition of your mind and your soul, your spirit, when you do your work and when you try to be of service to the organization that you work for, as well as the relationships that you find yourself in. The second thing that I would like to share with you of how I believe we can live purposefully, or rather powerfully, is to consider the people in your life. You know, you didn't come into this world alone, and you definitely will not go out of this world alone. I think it's a sad thing if people journey all by themselves. Do you know that I've heard leaders saying they really don't like people? You know, if a leader says that to me, then I really want to say, don't say it that loudly. let's rather work on that, because you know people may say it because they have reasons, and maybe they've been hurt terribly in their past journeys. That's very possible. But be careful to say out loud, I don't like people very much. You know what? You're not living on an island. You're living in a world where there's people all around you. Surely you have people in your life that you need to talk to, that you have to relate to, that you need to build. Maybe you have kids. Maybe you have parents. Maybe you have friends. Maybe you're in romantic relationships. Maybe you want to be alone. I don't know what your situation is and where you come from, but I want to say this to you. It's not about personality. It's not about personality. It's about the stories of our journeys and how these stories have impacted us to a degree that we give meaning to these experiences, and then we create narratives about ourselves and about people. One day, people, when you have passed on, people will talk about you still. Your name will live on, whether you like it or not. And you've got to understand that the biggest gift that you can give this world is a memory where you have added value to your world, in some ways, at least. You know, you don't have to be wealthy to be a giver. You can be a giver of kindness and generosity of spirit, that you can give compliments and really mean it. You can have a positive energy that you exude, that give other people confidence in who they are and what their lives are about. That's how you can serve others still. So think about, how do you think of people? What are your narratives? What's the stories that you tell yourself about the people that you work with and the people that you live with? And take a good care of those narratives, because ultimately your beliefs come through to how you treat other people as well. And don't fool or kid yourself. Your energy definitely impacts on other people around you. So if you are moody and your mood fluctuates too much, then you are going to drain people around you. If your environment and the energy that you exude is one of confidence and self-worth and self-love, then your energy will also feed into other people, making them feel good to be around you and making them feel confident to build a good and positive relationship with you. So the first P in being powerful is, can you remember? Purposeful living. The second is people and people relationships and how we maintain that in our lives. The third P that I'd like to share with you is living with poise. Living with poise. I just love that word, don't you? To be a person with poise. What does this mean? Poise means that you are stable, that you are grounded, that you are confident, and that you can manage yourself in accordance to your life all around you. In other words, if you live with poise, things don't throw you off to the degree that you lose control altogether, but that you can breathe, that you can think with clarity, and that you can manage your own emotion, your own way of being and showing up to the degree that you actually benefit yourself as well as others around you. Living with poise. Work a little bit at that, I think. You know, this is my view, if we can really just work at self-management and self-mastery of ourselves in spite of other people, and just ground ourselves and remain kind of stable and sane, I think that will be such a gift if we can gift ourselves with that. And if we gift ourselves with it, then we gift other people with it as well. Because as I said, there's always an exchange of energy and kinds of words between us and other people, and we've got to be mindful of how I impact other people as well. Be a person with poise. The fourth P that I'd like to share with you in terms of a powerful living, or the way I like to title is becoming a powerhouse, is to be a person considerate of the patterns that you follow. I've had a very interesting conversation with a girlfriend of mine the other day, and she said something really interesting. She said she's more interested in finding out what are the patterns that people develop, more than character, more than personality, qualities, etc., but rather the patterns that they develop. And that is an interesting thought, because you know what? As you go through life experiences, and as we believe certain things, and as we go through certain convictions, we do start to form certain patterns of behavior, and we call it habits. And some people say it's very, very difficult to change these behaviors. I want to say to you that actually things are as difficult as you make it. Isn't that true? Things are as difficult or as easy as we make it. I can sit here today and I can decide I can't do this anymore. I have no energy left. I'm sick and tired of this. But I can also look at something and say, okay, this is a challenge. Let me see what I can do with this. Let me see how this teaches me, or how this shapes and forms me. Let me see what this helps me discover about me. However we want to award meaning to things in life is really totally up to us. And when we really truly discover that, then we become powerful, because then we realize it's not really about life out there, it's about life inside of here. Life will carry on. People will be who they're going to be. The one thing that I've learned is I have absolutely no control over other people. I don't. Even if I want to think I do, even if I want to impose it, even if I want to tell them, you will listen to me and do what I tell you, I don't have control over other people's minds, their behavior, their thinking, their emotions. And you know what? I shouldn't have, because frankly, you and I are free to think, feel, and act as we want to. We are free. Isn't that true? The biggest discovery that I've made in my journey is that another person is free to think, feel, and do how they want to think, feel, and do. But I am free to also feel, think, and do what I want to feel, think, and do in relation to their behavior. That is a marvelous discovery. So I want to invite you to understand your own patterns of behavior, your experiences, your convictions, your attitude toward life, your predisposition, what your narratives are, and how all of that feeds into how your, let's say, your neurons, how they are being developed, and how that becomes almost like an indication of what your next probably will be. So if there's something that you really want to guard, protect, really take deep into consideration, it would be how you allow the patterns of your mind to be formed and to be shaped, because from there springs life, from there springs your next, and from there develops what what your next will be and how you'll see yourself in relation to your world. What are your patterns of behavior? Which is also speaking about the principles that you follow, the values that you hold deep to you and deep to the relationships that you hold as well. Can you remember the P so far? Purposeful living, people and relationships, living with poise and dignity, stability and confidence, making sure that you take good care of the patterns that you develop and the habits that you develop. Now, the next one is how you perform. How you perform. How do you perform in life? I want to challenge you a little bit on that. Do you hold a spirit of excellence? Or are you mediocre? Like, it's okay. I don't really have to excel here. I can just do enough. I want to really challenge you with that, because if there's one thing that I've learned in my life is that a spirit of excellence promotes you. Don't look for promotions. Don't look for the next opportunity. Run after excellence in your performance. In other words, whatever you do, do it in the best of your ability. It's not about being first or being the best. It's about being your best in life. Whatever you do, the way you greet people, the way you set the table, the way you do your work, the way you conduct yourself in the meeting room, wherever you are, think about, is this the best that I can do in this moment? Because life picks up on that spirit of excellence. And I want to tell you this, that when you do that, people love it to see people with excellence. And people with excellence are promoted in life. I almost want to say, if you live with a spirit of excellence and high performance, you don't have to fear that you won't have opportunities in life. Because there's so many people around us that's okay with being average, that when you stand out with a spirit of excellence, you'll find that life will promote you and people will respect you, and you will see how your life excels from the next to the next to the next. And that's the next P in living a powerful life or becoming a powerhouse. Your performance and how you show up with it. The next P is one that I've given so much thought of, and this comes from deep from within my soul, really, is the ability to live with polarities of life. Polarities. Everywhere around us we get this message of be successful, do what you can do, everything has to be great, you have to be happy. If you're not happy, there's something wrong, man. You have to get opportunities. Everything has to be positive and great and beautiful and kind and wonderful and magical. Is that true? Is that reality? Is that the full truth of what we call being human and living a human life? What if it's not supposed to be like that? What if the message changes and we say, hey, stop. It's wonderful that things are great and magical and beautiful and amazing and wondrous. But maybe life also has the kind of opposite to it, where we have moments of pain, disappointment, and disregard, rejection. Maybe life is about losses also. If I can teach myself to, in the center of me, in my soul, in my being, in my inner man, if you will, if I can focus my attention inwardly to living a life of gratitude, then maybe it will enable me to open up my hand palms and receive the fullness of life, where we say, it's wonderful to have beauty and opportunities and love and gain a lot and receive. But maybe in order for this to have value, maybe I need to also embrace, understand, surrender and accept pain and losses, disappointments, heartache and hurt. if I can teach myself to sit with both of these emotions, then perhaps life won't throw me off that much, wouldn't it? It's about how I give meaning to these experiences. And it's not saying that, that the one is better than the other. We really need to understand that when I work having a gracious and a grateful spirit, then it enables me to understand the beauty actually of both. Because both of these realities is what makes me human. And, I was thinking about why is it that we not only have positive emotions? Why haven't we just been given enthusiasm and joy and kindness and feeling excited? And why is it that we don't only have those emotions? Why do we have the emotions of hurt and pain and feeling rejected? And where you're just really deeply, deeply cut open, if you will. That space of darkness where you fall into the abyss of your own soul sometimes and you feel lost. You feel like you're spiraling downwards and you feel like there's no way that you can control this. Perhaps it's about breathing and embracing that part of the human experience and the way that we've been created is to actually celebrate the whole continuum of emotions in our lives and sit with it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't try to deny it, suppress it, run away from it, but rather sit with it and say, yes, this is how I feel. And maybe I understand the reasons, maybe I don't. But for now, I need to feel sad. I need to feel hurt. And I'm acknowledging these emotions because it's not wrong to have these emotions. It's human to have these emotions. And because I have it, I can feel it and I can be truthful to me about how I feel, because ultimately all of those emotions are adding to my journey. And perhaps I'm sitting in this hole right now and I'm feeling ashamed, and maybe I need to hide away in that hole for a moment. Maybe I need to decorate that hole for a little while and tell myself this is where I need to be for now in order to get out of the hole when I'm ready. Maybe that's where I'm at that chapter in my life. It's not wrong, it's not right, it is what it is, right? Embracing the polarities of life and don't run away from it, but rather work on gratitude, teaching yourself how to embrace both of these emotions. The last P that I would like to share with you is the P of pregnancy. Yes, you heard me right. Males and females, don't let me catch you not being pregnant, okay? Pregnancy is a beautiful thing. If you think about it, how we have been created as human beings, just look at a woman, right? She has been given the beautiful gift of bringing babies into this world. How does that happen? I'm not here to teach you biologically, okay? Don't worry, relax. But we all understand that there's a seed that ignites, that has there's a wonderful moment that something happens, and that gives life to a beautiful baby. Yes? And that baby, when it enters the world, needs to be nurtured and cared for, right? What if we are being impregnated all the time? I want to say to you that the P in being powerful, which constitutes here pregnancy, is about understanding and appreciating the beauty of living with a continuous awareness of your wonderful creativity. You need to open up yourself to being ignited, to being impregnated all the time. There's wonderful things happening around you in the form and the shape of changes, of people, of the world that's changing around you all of the time. And I'm certainly sure that all of us can attest to this, can't we? But if you have the ability to remain pregnant, it means that you have the ability to see and receive seed where you can nurture and allow that seed to start getting life inside of you, where you then allow that seed to start forming ideas and creative ideas, so that as you nurture those ideas and start working with those ideas, that at the right time and in the right season, you can allow those ideas to be birthed so that it can have entry into the world around you, and you can then let it grow up, let it multiply, and then affect other people's lives, hopefully in a positive manner as well. So don't let me catch you not being pregnant, okay? And I can attest to it myself a lot. I've written down titles of 12 books I'm still going to write, because that seed that's inside of me, I'm always aware of new things, of new ideas, of new kinds of things that we can do. And I don't want to lose that seed. I don't want to not give birth to something new, something interesting, something that I believe will serve the world around me. So I want to invite you to sit for a moment and think about, what are you giving birth to at this moment? What seed have you received? And what are you doing with it? Are you actually giving it life, giving it possibility? Or has your patterns of behavior, maybe your own lack of self-worth, maybe past experiences, has it made you to tumble into doubting yourself, questioning? Has your pain points, is it busy stealing away your future? You need to ask yourself those questions. But these are the things that I believe make us powerful. And I hope that I'm quickly looking here, I hope that I've mentioned all of them. And I want to really let you, or invite you, to sit for a moment and think about these 7 P's. Purposeful living, making sure that you are mindful about people and your relationships in life. How purposeful are you in your life? Do you serve? Think about your people in your life that you're surrounded with and the relationships that you hold. I want to ask you the patterns that you've developed. Are they patterns of health, patterns that's really adding value to you and other people? Do you live with poise, with confidence, with dignity, and with stability? How performance-oriented are you? Are you living your life with a spirit of excellence? And then the polarities of life. What's your thinking about it? Do you embrace it? Or do you run away from them? And then lastly, are you pregnant? And are you giving birth to something new? I would like to end this particular talk with a beautiful poem that I've written. And it's written in this book, See the Change. I have published this book last year. It's one of the seed that I have brought forward last year. I have another book also, I'm not going to read out from it now, Rites of Passion is another book that I've published, and I have in fact published a few books. But I'd like to read for you on this book, and that will allow you, or invite you rather, into allowing life to happen with you. The title is To Allow is to Grow. Allow time to heal you. Allow people to love you. Allow pain to teach you. Allow the air to penetrate you. Allow love to comfort you. Allow your own voice to speak to you. Allow freedom to surround you. Allow change to introduce you. Allow wisdom to direct you. Allow life to grow old with you. Allow truth to confront you. Allow confidence to elevate you. Allow courage to sustain you. Allow you to be with you. And allow time and change to dance with you. I want to thank you deeply for spending this time with me. And I want to encourage you, inspire you, that you will be elevated onto your own journeys. Chapter 1 right to chapter 5, that you will find your own life, one that will serve you, so that you can understand how to become a powerhouse and be impactful and effective wherever you go. Thank you.